Kidding season is coming so quickly and I'm so excited. But the does are in milk and it is about 2 months before they have their kids, so they need to be dried up. At the 2-month mark, the mamas are putting so much energy into making their babies, and just the demand on their body is so great that their milk production will drop drastically, and you need to just stop milking them altogether so that all of that energy that they were using to make their milk will go into making healthy and strong babies, and will keep their own bodies healthy as well, because there's a lot of demands on their body that can leave them nutritionally deficient and cause problems if they're still in milk when they deliver. So this is an important step if you are raising goats for milk and then having them have kids every year. But I am also curious to see how much each one of my does is making at this point. Now Faith hasn't been being milked for a bit now, but I wanted to show you something that is just interesting because I got an email about it from somebody that had stopped milking their goat but were concerned that their doe was still making milk after quite a while. I just wanted to show you that I haven't been milking Faith for about a month, and so she is still producing a little bit of milk, and so I just wanted to show you what that looked like. And then I have 2 other does that this week I am drying up because in 2 months they're having their kids as well. Now I noticed that as we approached this week that they both drastically, their milk production drastically went down. Their bodies already know what's going on. Their bodies already know that, hey, I need to quit producing so much milk because I have babies. And so I just am curious though at this point how much they're making. You may already have seen this video on my channel, but I did a video a bit ago about how much my goats were making at 6 months. So how much were they making after 6 months of milking? And so that was just really cool to see just what each one was producing. There was varying differences with that. And so now I'm just curious as well. Here we are at the end of their milking season, and we're gonna see how much they're making. Now, I do have one doe, that Eva. You may also remember in a video just recently where we did ultrasounds on the goats, and Eva that day went into heat. And so I put her in with the buck. And then 20 days later, she was in heat again. So for the first time ever, I did put her in with the buck, but for the first time ever, I maybe just milking a doe straight through and not stopping milking until that next breeding season, because goats can stay in milk if they're not bred again. They can just stay in milk almost, for several years, maybe even indefinitely, if you just keep asking them to produce like that and you're giving them the nutritional support that they need to keep doing that. So we will see if she got bred this last time, and if not, I don't know, we'll just see if I will just not even put her in with the buck again and keep milking her straight through. But we'll compare how much she's making, because she's not bred, and with the does that are now at that 2-month mark before kidding. Her udder is smaller and she is harder to milk just because of that. It's harder to aim out of all of my goats. And so she is 2 months from now, we'll be having her kids. Okay. I'm making a mess with her. Golly. Okay, here's Fiona's milk. It's not going to be much, but let's see how much she made. All right, looks about 1.5 cups of milk at this point. All right, Eva here is the one that is not bred yet, and so she is making, I think, more milk than the other 2. We're gonna see. So at some point, Eva will be the only goat I'm milking in this next month. And so it will be just enough for us to do a little bit of cooking, a little bit of drinking. Not like we're used to, but at least we'll have still some fresh milk, which will be nice. All right, let's see how much you're making. Let's see. You, my dear girl. are making, Eva is making just under 5 cups. She is, when did you have your babies, Eva? I think they all had their babies in May last year. My goat binder's not out here. I've been working on it inside, and so I don't have it out here to check right at this very moment. I think they were born in May, and so at 6 months they were about November. So November, December, January, February, so 6, 7, 8, 9. We're about 9 months into milking, and she made about 5 cups. Okay, so Faith is the one that's due in 1 month. Yay! And I just wanted to show you that she is still producing a little bit of milk. It's not like you stop milking and they just magically stop producing milk. It takes a bit for them to dry up completely, but because you're not asking them to produce milk by milking them, their body is not producing it like it was previously, and their body does just start to absorb that milk back into themselves. So you can see here that there's still quite a bit of milk in a way, that she's producing. I've not milked her for a month now, but after this, of course, I'm not going to milk her anymore, and I just wanted to show you that they do still produce milk after you've stopped milking them. So even though I haven't been milking Faith, I have been letting her up onto the stand because she insists. She doesn't give me any choice. But anyways, I would still be putting her up on the stand just while I'm milking the other goats so that she can get some grain and get that extra nutritional boost during this time as well, because she is in definite baby making mode and they're getting exponentially bigger at this point, and so it's important that she has the energy requirements needed to produce healthy babies and to stay healthy herself, because you don't want your goat to go into ketosis or get pregnancy toxemia or things like that, which are, both of those are nutritional problems that happen before and after pregnancy. So you don't want those things to happen. Keep your does healthy, give them the energy requirements that their bodies and their babies need, because you know how it is, moms. If we're not getting the nutritional things that we need, we still put everything into making our babies, even when it hurts us, if that makes sense. So the goats are the same way. They will put all their energy into making good babies, and then their health suffers. So it is your job to really help them in every way possible, make those babies healthy and to keep them healthy. Because if you don't, they will have pregnancy problems and they will have more difficult birth problems as well. You are the hairiest goat ever. Okay, so I'm going to put Faith's in with Fiona's, and so this one will get a little bit more, but I do need to put that milk somewhere because I'm curious how much milk that Olivia's making, and I want it to be accurate. So I'm just going to put Faith's in with Fiona's. I would say that Faith had a little itty bitty bit over a half a cup in that milking. Hello, babies. How are you? How are you doing in there? Doing good? How many are in there? Are you nice and comfortable in there? Is there enough room? One thing that I wanted to just again point out, I know I mentioned this in my last milking video about how much they made, is that I only milk once a day. I do not milk twice a day, and their bodies get used to it. When I wean off the kids, I just start milking once a day and their body adjusts. So they're not probably making as much as maybe they could because I'm not asking for more twice a day. It just works with our schedule though. When you have to milk, you have to milk. It's not something you can just not milk because you don't want to, because that will affect them and that mastitis will become problems. It's just not good for them. Then during the summer months and just the busy schedules of life, just milking once a day works perfectly for us. It gives us enough milk and we're not completely tied down like it would be if we were milking twice a day. How many babies do you have? Should I talk to yours? Hello, how are you in there? What are you doing? For 2 more months, keep growing strong, okay? So Olivia here won the contest last time, but she doesn't have near as much this time. How much did you make? I think Fiona's gonna beat you, Olivia. Now, it'll be interesting to see. It really will. So Fiona last year just had one little doeling, and Olivia here had 3. And so that's a big difference also in just the demands in their body as well. So I'm curious. I'm hoping that Fiona at least has 2. It would be nice for her to give us one more at least, and I'm hoping that Olivia here will also give us at least another 3. But it also probably is a major factor right now in how much they're producing as well. So actually, now that it's drained, it was draining slowly. It's actually the same as what Fiona's was before I added in Faith's milk. So she actually did produce about a 1.5 cups as well. So it's interesting. So it just was draining slowly. So that's how much the goats are making at their very last milkings, right before just drying them off, getting them ready for the kidding season. How is your kidding season looking? You might be in the middle of it right now. I like to wait a bit because of the spring storms and cold that still happen for several more months. So we don't start for another month, and I'll go into May as well. So April and May are my kidding months this year, and then Eva, if she ever decides to get bred, whenever that happens, I'm not sure. And we may end up just waiting with her until next fall and just breed her then. So that's very interesting to see. It's fun to see how much they're producing. How much do your does produce at the end of their milking season? I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Enjoy those goats. Give them a hug for me, and we'll see you in that next video.